And when we had what you call the decentralized police force, there were the native authority police, how did they relate with the central police organization at that time?
To be fair, there was more of cooperation than conflict, but there were differences in the way the Nigeria police force related with the native authority police forces, either in the north or the west. A bit detailed history, but I'll give the summary. Up to 1947, in either the northern region or the western region, the separateness was maintained. From late 1940s, something happened in the Oyo province when an officer, G.A.V. Dobosea, who was the superior of police in charge of the NPF, but had control or some control over the native authority police forces in that province. He pushed vigorously for the subordination of the native authority police forces to the Nigeria police force. Dobosea had his career first in the north, and when he attempted that kind of thing, it was stoutly resisted. So when he was posted to the western region and stationed in Ibadan, he saw the idea, flew the kite with the resident, and it was accepted. And then he went for it, and it was concluded. But I must give credit here to the native authority of personnel, but especially the chiefs in Ibadan. They saw through what Dobosea was attempting to do, which was to subjugate their police to the Nigeria police force. They raised their concerns. They were overruled, and it even went through. So initially it was in the Oyo province. By the time the overall government was instituted, by 1955, what had been in operation in the Oyo province was then extended to the rest of the region. And in which case, you had officers of the Nigeria police force being seconded to serve as officer in charge of the local government police forces. That arrangement, as I've said, was not allowed in the north. The authority of the local elected and political officials over the native authority was maintained. So the Nigeria police force officers, yes, related by way of training, giving advice. So their nomenclature was not officer in charge, but NAP advisor. That word was not given loosely. You have some influence over the native authority police force that you are advising, but there are boundaries. You don't attempt to control the forces. Just give advice about training, accoutrement, bearing, some conduct, but don't attempt to control. Now, this point is important to make as we're about transiting or returning to what used to be. In other words, there will be police-police relations issues. They don't have to be conflictual. In the western region, where that thing went through then, and the native authority police became subjugated to the NPF, it later generated a crisis after the AG government had its crisis in 1962, and there was interregnum. By the time the Akitola government was restored, it became uncomfortable with that arrangement. So the Akitola government had to do away with that arrangement about seconding officers of the NPF to control the local government police, which by then had become, if you like, regional, because there was a superintendent general of the local government police forces. And I must say here that the title superintendent general, as late Chief Enaro told me in an interview, has something to do with the rivalry between the NPF or the regional government and the federal government. Like he jokingly put it, if their own police was headed by an inspector general. Superintendent is superior to inspector. So we call the head of our own at the regional level superintendent general. And they brought the idea.